If you are new here, Cognitive Thread covers the psychology behind why people do what they do. Today we are looking at the psychology of self-discipline explained, and this one is fascinating. 92% of people who try to build self-discipline fail within the first 3 weeks. But here's what's wild. Most of them aren't weak. They're actually working against something their brain is specifically designed to do. And the reason why will completely change how you see yourself. Let's start with something uncomfortable. You've probably tried to change something about yourself. Wake up earlier, eat better, stop scrolling, exercise more, and you've probably felt that crushing moment when you gave up, when the discipline just evaporated. Most people blame themselves. They think they lack willpower. They think they're lazy, but that's not what the science shows. In fact, what researchers have discovered is way more interesting and way more fixable. Number 5. Your brain is running on yesterday's software. Psychologist Baumeister conducted a landmark study in the 1990s that revealed something shocking about willpower. It's not unlimited. It's a resource that gets depleted. Your brain treats self-discipline like a muscle, and muscles get tired. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Your brain didn't evolve to have discipline in the modern sense. Evolution built your brain for survival in environments where instant gratification kept you alive. Food appeared? Eat it now. Threat detected? React immediately. Opportunity for rest? Take it. For 300,000 years, delayed gratification was basically never the winning strategy, so your brain is optimized for immediate rewards. You're literally trying to override millions of years of biological programming with what, a decision you made last Tuesday? Your ancestors didn't need to resist a Netflix notification. They didn't face 10,000 food options in a grocery store. Your brain's reward system is flooded with stimulation it was never designed to handle. And you're supposed to just resist it through force of will? That's not a personal failure. That's a design mismatch. But what researchers found about why your brain resists so hard is the part that changes everything. Number 4. You're using willpower wrong from the start. Most people think self-discipline is about fighting yourself, gritting your teeth, white-knuckling through temptation. But that's exhausting because it actually is exhausting, and studies show it's the wrong approach entirely. Dr. Wendy Suzuki at NYU discovered that people who rely purely on willpower burn out faster. They deplete their mental resources quicker, but people who restructure their environment, who make the discipline automatic, they don't experience the same depletion. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't white-knuckle through it. You don't fight the urge to skip it. It's just automatic. You want to know the difference? Environment design versus willpower. One person tries to have self-discipline by constantly resisting cookies in their house. Another person just doesn't buy cookies. Same goal, completely different mental energy cost. The first person is fighting their brain every single day. The second person has removed the fight entirely. But here's what's wild. Most people think the person with cookies in the house who resists them is somehow more disciplined. They're actually just suffering more. Real discipline isn't about suffering. It's about making suffering irrelevant. Number 3. Your motivation disappears because you're chasing the wrong target. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Most people fail at discipline because they're pursuing goals that don't actually connect to their values. You think you should want something, so you decide to do it. But your deeper brain, the part that actually controls your behavior, doesn't care what you think you should want. Motivation research shows that discipline only sticks when the goal is intrinsically motivating, when it's connected to something that matters to you at a deep level, not because you think it should matter, because it actually does. Someone who exercises because they believe they should be fit might last a few weeks. Someone who exercises because they love how it makes them feel, or because they want to keep up with their kids, or because they get genuine joy from movement. They'll do it for decades without thinking about discipline. The goal isn't the problem. The mismatch between your stated goal and your actual values is the problem. Your brain won't sustain discipline for goals it doesn't actually care about. And most people never stop to ask, do I actually want this, or do I think I'm supposed to want this? We are almost there, and the explanation changes everything. Number 2, you're measuring success wrong. Here's a devastating pattern researchers have noticed. People set ambitious goals. Then they measure themselves daily against those goals. Miss one day? Feel like a failure. Miss 3 days? Might as well quit. The entire system collapses on itself. But here's what the data actually shows. Progress is not linear. Your brain needs to see progress to maintain discipline. But if you're measuring in ways that show constant failure, your brain will quit. That's not weakness. That's how motivation works. If you're exercising and you weigh yourself daily, you'll see tiny fluctuations. Up a pound, down 2 pounds. It looks like random noise. So your brain gives up. But if you measure weekly, or if you measure how you feel, or how your clothes fit, you see actual progress. The goal hasn't changed. The measurement system has. And suddenly, discipline becomes sustainable because you're actually seeing evidence that the system works. Researchers call this the progress principle. Small wins matter, small visible progress matters, but most people measure in ways that guarantee they'll see failure, not progress. Then they blame themselves for quitting. Number 1, the real reason discipline fails is something you're doing right now. Okay, this is it. This is the thing that explains why 92% of people fail. And it's so simple you're going to feel weird when you hear it. Most people try to build discipline while running a massive energy deficit. They're sleep deprived, they're stressed, they're hungry, they're emotionally exhausted, and then they expect their brain to have the cognitive resources to override millions of years of evolution. That's not how the brain works. Willpower requires glucose, it requires sleep, it requires emotional stability. You cannot discipline your way into self-discipline if you're depleted. The reason 92% of people fail at discipline isn't because they're weak. It's because they're trying to use a depleted resource to build discipline instead of first restoring the resource itself. You have to fix the foundation first: sleep, nutrition, stress management, then discipline becomes possible. Not as an act of force, but as a natural output of a functioning system. People spend years hating themselves for not having discipline, while ignoring the fact that their brain is literally running on fumes. Once you fix that, once you actually get sleep, once you stabilize your nervous system, once you eat properly, discipline doesn't feel impossible anymore. It feels easy. So here's the real question. What if the discipline you're missing isn't a character flaw? What if it's a symptom of something deeper that's been broken this whole time? So the answer to why discipline fails isn't weakness. It's a system running on empty. But here's what's wild. This same mechanism explains something even darker about how your brain creates habits that destroy you once they start. That's coming next. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss when we break that down.